One of the things we wanted to do was we felt like, we have two number ones. And Rob had gone first every game. We wanted to give Matt a shot to go first. Nothing beyond that.
Why'd you stick with him then?
Well, Joe made that call. And Joe felt like he started out pretty hot and didn't want to make a change, didn't want to ruin the continuity of what we were doing.
You guys might have gone the other way if he hadn't said something?
I probably would have in the third quarter because we got a little bogged down. I think we got a little bit out of whack, and it probably would have been a good, in hindsight, probably, and Joe even said the same to me in the locker room afterwards, in hindsight, probably would have been good to just give us a little change of ignition, so to speak.
But Joe said something like there, stick with him in the third quarter?
Yeah, he said, let's stick with him, and that's what we did. So, it was just one of those things. It was a feel of the game.
So he's claiming that Bolin will play, Bolin's still going to play, and
yes,
we're reading this a different way than apparently you guys are. That McGloin's not necessarily the starting quarterback, period.
Correct. We're going to continue to compete and go from there.
Okay.
How did McGloin play?
I thought first half really well. We thought we got a little sloppy in the second half. I think that hurt us. We missed a couple of things. We didn't see some of the blitzes coming. Got to do a little better job in that. They did some good things scheme-wise that we didn't pick up well enough. And so we got a little out of whack. A little bit of good change, maybe just put Rob in there and let him get in there and do some things and change the pace of the game a little bit. And I think, and that's not just Matt, that's an overall, we got sloppy in the second half. We had a chance to put him away 2 or 3 times, and we did not do it. And we've got to get that instinct where we put people away. We've got to get it.
Joe implied that you played Matt because it was an up-and-down game. That sort of backhanded means that Rob maybe not be equipped for a game like that?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Temple, we had the ball down 3 with Temple with a couple minutes left, and he won the game. So, no, I don't think that's what Joe was.
But it was such an up-and-down game, a fast-paced, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You're trying to keep up with their offense.
Right, he just felt like, Matt, we were in sync and we were in a rhythm in the first half. And he didn't want to mess with it. And that's what it came down to. It wasn't that he didn't trust Rob. It wasn't nothing. And I think anybody that said would imply that's probably reading into that too much. But he just didn't feel like we had control of the game, and we were in a pretty good rhythm, and he didn't want to mess with it.
What changed from Tuesday when Joe said that he was going to be, we're going to keep doing this the same way with the quarterback situation because it's worked for you?
Well, nothing changed until we got in the game today. Nothing changed. We had planned, Rob was going to play in the second quarter, but like I said, we started out really well, and Joe didn't want to change it up.
But it did change that you started him. That was different from what you've done in the past.
Yeah, that was. Well, I don't know if you were here when I first started, but basically what we decided to do was because we're over halfway through the season, and we have 2 number 1 quarterbacks in our minds. So we decided to give Matt a shot to go first and see how. He felt like he earned a chance to go first. And still split time. It wasn't a change, but just the way the game played out, that's how it happened.
So a lot of people watch the game and say, boy, they were so effective in the first half. And a lot of people make the connection, must have been McGloin. Why were you so effective?
Well, I think the offensive line did really well. We ran the ball. When you look at Red ran really hard. We did a good job mixing it up because of the fact that because we were making a lot of plays. The second half, I think we may have got a little sloppy, missed some backside cutoff blocks that we need to make. They got us off schedule more often than they did in the first half. First half, we were getting a lot of, I think we had 2 or 3 third downs the whole first half. I don't know how many they had, but there weren't a lot of them. But so we got a little bit off schedule in the second half, and I think it had a lot to do with it.
What do you think this means to you to be on that same level now with Eddie?
Well, I think it obviously means a lot because he's known, he knew Eddie Robinson way back. They were in clinics together and things, so I think, Joe's always talked about it with a great deal of respect. He's had nothing but admiration for him. So obviously, when you're in that kind of company, it's pretty really comfy.
Do these milestones ever stop sinking into?
Well, he's tied it. He beats it, maybe. But no, it's not something we talk about. It's not something.
None of them. None of the milestones that come up.
Well, the 401 was pretty big deal. That was kind of, and then my mom wasn't going to have all her family members there until I said something to her week before. I said, it's kind of a big deal. But next week, Joe's the kind of person that during the season, it's the 7th win or 7-1. We're still in first place in the conference, and we got to work on getting to staying there. And Joe will be on the plane asking us about Illinois.